In Elestral Set 1, Earth Beatdown and Thunder-Nexus destroyed in competitive, solidifying themselves as the best 2 decks. But now, as players receive the new cards from Set 2, Frostfall, will there be a new top deck? That's what I'm here to explore. Today, I participated in JadeJonny's Win a Box tournament, facing off against multi-Elestrals tournament champion Cameron or SpicySausage. Shout out to him. I asked him if I could use our gameplay from today's match. He said it was okay. I think that's awesome, and here I'm going to shout him out. He is a multi-tournament winning champion, so congrats to Cameron or SpicySausage. I look forward to seeing what he has to bring come Frostfall tournaments. Fire is my favorite element, and coincidentally, it's just got a huge bump with the release of Frostfall. It was a big one. So, I entered JadeJonny's tournament with my own list of Fire. I assumed SpicySausage would be bringing Fire as well, as I saw a lot of others enter with it as well. But as it turned out, he did not bring Fire. He brought the one and only Thunder-Nexus, Frostfall version. Let's jump into game 1 of this intense clash. Right off the bat, lose the coin flip. I already know I'm going second. I've got an okay hand. I only have 1 counter rune. It's chain, so it's not really a counter rune. It's a counter rune. I decided to keep it anyway because I have Lavalith, Kinleo, and Jolton, so I can get Fire, or I can get Volcanic Forge. I can use that as a Nexus Bank. I can also use that to bump Necrov up to a 6. And yeah, let's see what happens. So he's got Elechik. I immediately assume he's going to grab Zeus. He grabs Zeus. You should be using Zeus in pretty much every deck, in my opinion. And I wasn't really sure what to do here. What was I looking for? I have no idea. Anyway, one of the best starting hands you can do is to, or starting turns you can have is to cast out a Searcher. So I cast out a Searcher. Got my Volcanic Forge. I can set up Kinleo the next turn, otherwise I can bump up Necro to a 6 the next turn. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I was hesitant whether or not I was going to attack or not. I knew he would crash, but I guess what it came down to was that I didn't want him to have 2 Elestrals on the board, even if I had 1 on there. I just really try to always minimize the amount of spirits that my opponent has on board. Oh man, he gets the hand rep right off the bat. So I know Sparkit, with Sparkit, this is where I knew he was running Thunder-Nexus instead of Fire. And honestly, yeah, it got pretty scary. Right here is where I thought I was going to get crushed. But yeah, we'll see which one he takes. I really thought he was going to take Lavalith because it's an automatic cast next turn. I was kind of surprised when he got Kinleo here. Kinleo is a great card. He's necessary to the fire elements. But I was really surprised because, yeah, it's an automatic cast on Lavalith next turn. And I get to either destroy his Zeus or his face down. Of course I'm recording. I was playing SpicySausage. I wanted this to be on the channel. That sucked. Lost 2 off the bat. But I felt pretty good with the spirit ratios here. My 17 to his 15, although he's got 4 on board, so it's really 17-19. Gorgon's Gaze, that was pretty nice. Lavalith, of course. Decided to go for his Zeus instead of his face down. With having those 2 spirits on the Zeus, I knew that he can keep that on turn for or on board for as long as possible, and yeah. So decides to go for Altar of the Stars, and I changed it. So essentially what happens here is I get to destroy his Zeus. Yep. He gets, all he got was essentially 1 spirit back, and I got to take out both of his back rows. So In my opinion, that was a pretty successful chains that I got to use there. I brought out Volcanic Forge purely because I knew he has Zeus, or he had Zeus and he can get it again. I wanted to minimize the chance that my Lavalith could get attacked and destroyed just by bringing out like an Elechik and a Zeus right away. So Toxia, and that one kind of hurt. It's always a sucky card to see, man. Like, automatic, I cast this, now you lose one. It's like, great. Love that. Can't do anything. I can Gorgon's Gaze you, and then I'm going to lose 2 spirits. What does that do? Earthquake, another sucky card. Nobody likes to see that one. You know, I gotta say though, I think they did a pretty good job, they as in the Elestral's team, of balancing out Earthquake. It's an insanely good card that's insanely hard to fit into decks that aren't running Earth. So I think they did a great job with that. It seems that most people choose to run PTA. I got that, so I'm able to crash. But Earthquake was a really interesting card because it needs 2 Earth. And most people run 2 Earthquakes, 2 Earth Spirits in their deck if they are running Earthquake. Which is a good ratio, excuse my burp. But it's nothing, I don't know, it makes deck ratios really wonky. So right here, I'm feeling pretty good. I debated using Gorgon's Gaze on his rabbit just because I didn't want him to get information. But I was hesitant on doing that because I did not want to go down an additional 2 spirits. I wasn't sure what was in his hand, and it could have been a counter rune. So yeah, that was the reason there. I chose to go for Astrabbit over Necro because he had a counter rune down, and I figured I needed some more cards of my own. And Astrabbit is just too good not to play. Right there, with playing Altar of the Stars, I have the chance to do the Nexus. So I'm able to use Altar of Stars if needed. Turns out it doesn't matter. He's got an Astrabbit. Second Astrabbit, which I assume he top decked. So I know he's either looking for back row, or I know he's looking for something that can get over Astrabbit, whether it's an Elechik, whether it is a Zeus. Not sure. And there's my Zeus. Pretty happy about that, although it's not really needed. I decided to go with an interesting tech play here. I decided to go with the water on Necrov. And I decided to cast the Zeus, enchanting it with my last Thunder Spirit. And that's to avoid any type of tsunami, or any tsunami, I guess the only tsunami that's in his back row. I could have bumped him up to 6 with a fire, but that would have meant that Astrabbit would go into defense and he would automatically get destroyed next turn, and then it's going to be even harder for me to get over those Astrabbits. So I felt like it was a good play. It went through. Turned out that I just put too many spirits on board. Probably could have done the fire enchanted Necro and gotten him for 1. But no, it didn't happen. Made some interesting choices using the spirits on board there. Got rid of an Elestral, and I got rid of my Volcanic Forge. That was a tough play. And this is exactly why I went for this way. I'm able to avoid a tsunami. I'm able to Yep, that's why I did it. Forgot I had that resting on your laurels down. So now I'm able to get a 2-punch. I don't get to burn him for 1, but I'm able to take out his whole board, besides that 1 back row. But now I'm top decking for my life. I forgot what I have down here, but I don't think it's anything great. I know I have a Tsunami, so it can protect me for 1 turn. I think he might expend to draw here. Nope, he casts a Toxion and burns me for 1. Love to see it. Take out his Toxion. So he's got 5 spirits left. He's going to be able to get a Zeus out. He's going to be able to take out my Necrov. I do have a Tsunami, so I'm pretty sure that's what I use coming up. It's always a tricky play late game, man. It's like he has to have an Altar of Stars down, really, to make that a good play. Cast Tsunami, I make him waste a spirit off the Zeus. Yep, then he plays Altar of Stars. That's why that card is so freaking good, man. He's able just to enchant him again. My Necrov is still -3/-3. So he's able to run over him. I've got another Tsunami, but I don't have a Water Spirit. What do I do here? Decide to go and destroy the Necrov. I lose a Spirit. If I would have Tsunami'd, I would have kept my Necrov on the field. I don't know why I didn't do that. I'm actually positive that I'm pretty sure if I would have Tsunami'd off my Necrov, Zelichek would be in defense. Wow. Yep, I think I misplayed huge there. I should have Tsunami'd off my Necrov, took the chance of drawing an Elestral, and I got the Elestral. It was a chance play. Probably 50-50. Alright, game 2. Let's go into it. Don't want to go over that one too much. I lost! Big misplay. But here I'm going to try and make up my first game. So it is best 2 out of 3. I decided not to go for a side deck here. I think the deck that I have laid out is pretty good the way it is, to be honest. There wasn't much siding out that I had to do. If I was going up against a water deck, I would have taken out the 3 Tsunamis. Probably put in like 2 shields and maybe a Divine Blessing. But instead, I decided to keep it the exact same. I'm pretty sure my opponent switched up, so I was curious to see what he would do for this game. Right now, I'm pretty sure I have the exact same starting turn that Sausage had last game. I'd also like to point out that my opponent had 2 mulligans, so I'm already at an automatic 2-spirit lead. Brings out the Spark Hit. I'm expecting a Zeus. No Zeus. Now this is getting tricky too, because I could either set my chains or I could activate my Zeus. I decided to activate my Zeus. My goal here being I just want to get rid of that Spark It before he can hand rip me. Because right now my hand is pretty good. If he's going to hand rip me, he would 110% take out Lavalith, which could hurt me at any point in the game. That card is so good, man. So good. Kind of screwed myself there. Nothing a little GG's can't help. Man, that was tough. GG's just to save my Zeus there. Here I made a misplay too. I remember thinking that. I could have disenchanted my Zeus before I could cast out an Elestral, and that would have allowed me to cast a Lavalith of my own. So I think right here is where I was thinking that, and just thinking, oh god, I messed up big time. This is game 2. I'm gonna lose my first match. I'm not gonna win the box. But instead, I go for the Kinleo attack on the Sparkit. So the Lavalith play would have been a lot better. Would have been nice. I would have been able to take out his Sparkit, and I would have been able to hit him for 1. And right here it kind of sucks because he put a water enchanted Sparkit out on the field. I decided to take the hits, and it hurt. Hurt a lot. Wanted to save my Tsunami for later game. Right now I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to win this? But I'm able to cast out my Lavalith. So it ended up doing a pretty good job. Let's see what I take out here. Took out a Race to the Top. Felt pretty bad about that. It's a great card, but I haven't seen him use the stadiums all game, or the last game, so it's kind of tough to see that one go. I wanted more like a Shield of Achilles to go, but that's okay. Decided to take out his Sparkit. Decided to hit him for 1. Get that 1 spirit damage. His Lavalith still out on the field, so I can either force him to crash, or I can force him to not do anything. Right here I know he's going to get Zeus. I don't have a Gorgon's Gaze, otherwise I would have. But I still got that Tsunami, so I know I can use that on the attack here. And right now I'm also going to be able to... this is also a good thing about Tsunami, is that your opponent wastes a Spirit on Zeus, so you're able to get that, that even out, but then having the advantage on the board state come my turn. Right here, I think I decide to go for Spirit Damage over anything. The Kinleo move is just amazing, so decided to go for that. Being able to destroy an Elestral off of just Nexusing a Fire Spirit is insanely good, especially when you're able to then hit your opponent for that same amount of spirit damage, because depending on who you Nexus to, if I would have done it on Lavalith, it would have been 3, or if I would have done it on Kinleo, it would have been 3. But here I'm going to be able to take, or hit him for 2 spirit damage, so that's a pretty big play. When he had Lavalith and Elestral out on the field, it wasn't looking too great, but now it's looking good. And of course, now it's not looking great because I don't have a Forge out on the field. Kinleo's at a 3-1. He's at 2 spirits, so he's vulnerable. He's going to get targeted. He's got an Elestral out on the field. He's automatically going to be able to attack him. Except for Altar of the Stars, baby! Altar of the Stars is so freaking good, man. If you're not using that card in your deck, what are you doing? Now I'm going to be able to Nexus back to Kinleo. So before I would have had to Nexus onto Zeus in order to destroy, and I would have only been able to hit him for 1. But now I was able to save that Fire Spirit by putting it onto Zeus and Nexus it back to him and hit him for 2. I have him at 5-2 now. Yeah, Broja's a little scary. But I've got the PTA down, so if he brings out a 5 attacker, he's got a crash and he's going to take the 1 damage. Of course, I'm top decking, so it's not looking great. He's got another Ambrosia. It's gonna bring him up to 5. Tie game right now, except I've got 2 more enchanting spirits on the field, so I've really got the better board state. Oh, that's great too. He's debating expending to draw. Instead, I'm gonna try and avoid that tsunami, and I get to hit him for 3. Cast my Ambrosia, get that water spirit back so I can cast a tsunami and then get 2 more fire spirits. I guess technically 1 more with the Ambrosia cost. But yeah, I think that play was huge. If he would have cast a shield, that would have hurt me quite a bit. That would have been 2. Kinley would have been back to hand, which would have been great, but I would have lost all 3 spirits on board. And here I got my opponent to submitting defeats. I was really surprised by that. I honestly did not think I was going to win with a 3-1 Kinley on board, but I did. Game 2 goes to HazySage. Game 3 on the line. Spicy goes first. He wins a coin toss, so he's able to choose first. Of course, good luck, have fun. I felt like I had an awesome starting hand. Typically, Kinley is not really a card you want to start off in the starting hand because he's a 3-1 and you don't want to use his power early on because he's so invulnerable. So I decide to expend the draw here. And it's because I really need another card like Necrov to play out on my next turn. I don't want to give away that I have Kinley because he's so invulnerable, and I don't want to use him too early. Late game Kinley is a pseudo Earthquake, and it's an Elestral on board. Like I said, if you Nexus to him, you can hit him for either 2 or 3. So it's just become such an insane late game threat. Also got the Laurels stacked in hand here, so need to come up with a play for that. Try and take out his Elestral. Sorry, losing track of my focus sometimes here. I just get so focused on the game. Water Enchanted Necro feels good to avoid any tsunamis. Early game especially. It kind of hurts though knowing that you could be getting 1 burn damage on them for not water enchanting, but Necro becomes such a vulnerable card if you do get tsunami, because then he goes to defense and he's only that 1 defense. So it's yeah, kind of a double-edged sword there. So he gets the Jotun. I haven't seen that card yet. I'm thinking he probably sided in Mount Olympus, and it seems that he did. So that kind of worries me for keeping out my Volcanic Forge on board. So automatically I just kind of know that, okay, Volcanic Forge is going to be a Nexus bank for me unless he puts his Mount Olympus out first, and I'm able to put mine out second, keeping mine on board and destroying his. Right now I'm debating whether or not I'm going to use a counter rune. I can either go against Gaze, but that feels kind of wasteful because he already got his Stadium rune. So I just opt to destroy my Necro. Feels bad though. It does feel bad, but now he's got the 2 enchanting spirits, so I'm able to hit that resting on your laurels. I play this game kind of like a math game, how it should be played. It's kind of, it's just maintaining as much board advantage as you can, and setting up to maintain board advantage. That's pretty much all it is. Keeping an eye on your spirit, or your opponent's spirits, your own spirits. I like to see them waste spirits, so Spicy just kind of knew I was going to attack, so he just got rid of a spirit there for me. yeah, I see him expend to draw. That hypes me up a lot. I'm able to see those numbers go down and the ratio, or the difference of our spirits go up, I guess. So I've got more spirits, I guess. That's all I'm trying to say. But I decided to go for a Jolton to get the second forge. I make that play so when I have Kinleo out, I can Nexus off of one forge onto him, and then when I play the other forge, that boosts Kinleo up to a 5, and he's at 2 spirits, so I'm able to get those 2 spirit damages, 2 spirit damage, and he's able to stay protected. In this case, the opponent's got out an Ash Rabbit. I Poison Tube Arrow him. But back to the Kinleo, if I were to do that Kinleo play with the 2 Volcanic Forges, I can't really, I still can't hit over Ash Rabbit, right? But if I were to have another turn, I can always enchant Kinleo with another fire, or I can enchant something else with a fire, Nexus onto Kinleo, then I'll be at 6, then I get to destroy an Elestral as well. So, a lot of cool plays you can do with Kinleo, a lot of good damage, and the destroy an Elestral effect is, like I said before, just insanely OP. Got another Laurels just in case. So this is tough. Right here, I remember this exact spot. It's kind of getting down to the wire, right? I've got 2 Elestrals on board. I have a good back row. He's got no Elestrals on board. He's got a set back row. I have 1 more Enchanting Spirit. If I were to put another Spirit out on board, I would set up the play for a possible Lava Lift. So I decided to go for just knocking him off at 2 Spirits, taking the chance of a counter rune. Luckily, I was able to connect and bring my opponent down to 10. I did not take into count, or I did not take count that he's able to disenchant his Zeus to get all that wood. I forgot about that part. Luckily, he tried destroying my Gorgon's Gaze though, so I was able to flip that and basically just stop the Lava from attacking. So essentially his Destroy a Rune became null or useless, and I felt pretty good about that. But he still has, oh that's right, the Kinleo play. I was gonna say I've got Resting on Your Laurels, but I just can't use it, so it's kind of dumb. I do have a Chains of Prometheus down, so that's why I'm not worried about this Kinleo play here. He's got the Gorgon's Gaze before the Nexus. Great. I think I forgot I had Chains, but oh, I said, oh, I have Chains. Definitely casting that. It was still the next response window, so it was all good. I didn't make any other plays. It was fair play. He got his spirit back, but I am able to destroy Lavalith, and I'm also able to, I think, what do I do here? Do I cast Forge? I cast Forge here to see, this wasn't a great play because at this point I forgot that I had, or he had Mount Olympus down, so that sucked. Now he can just cast Mount Olympus and get rid of my Forge. If he's got raised to the top too, I'm screwed. He's got a Jolton. Cast my PTA. Off of my Jolton, getting rid of my Jolton. Completely forgot he had that Mount Olympus, so I misplayed huge here. In the third match, it's not something you want to do. End up having to destroy my Kinleo. Get rid of my PTA. Luckily for that top deck Astrabbit though, I was able to get another attacker off, and I'm able to draw a card out of 3. What I grab Gorgon's Gaze, Ultimate Protection. pretty sure Sausage just goes ahead and expends 2 spirits before I can attack because he knows I'm gonna attack and he doesn't have any counter runes. It's great. I get it, but also you don't know if I'm actually going to attack. I mean, like 90% sure I'm going to attack, but there are some cases where I've seen players that choose not to attack because they get scared. LP opts to expend to draw here, ends up not having anything. That's GG. Alright, so match 1 goes to HazySage. I think I brought SpicySausage record down to 5-2. He was previously 4-0. I think this is only the 3rd match played in JadeJonny's tournament. So I was pretty excited to play Cameron or Sausage right off the rip. He's an insanely good player, and yeah, I was pretty nervous going into that. But Fire held its own. I played it pretty well. I made 2 big misplays, but it ended up working out for me. So, or the first game, I maybe could have won it if I didn't do that last misplay with the tsunami. Yeah, I ended up coming out with the victory, like I said. So, had a lot of fun doing this. I just wanted to point out, Fire best deck. Better than Thunder-Nexus, according to these results. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment, a like, a subscribe if you guys enjoyed our content. Riley and I are going to be putting out a lot more stuff this summer for the TCG Dome. Go check it out.